Well, let's settle back then. I want to say this gentleman doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to do some anyway. He's a man that wears many hats. He's all over the state of Texas, and no telling what he may pop up and who he's in front of because he's in pop. Let me tell you something. He's in front of dignitaries all the time. And we want to thank him for his message this month. And I've seen him grow tremendously with his talks. And this month was I don't know what like I said I don't know what he just settled down and just gave a excellent delivery on his conversations and his topics. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as Mr. Backbone and Posture. Can we give a warm welcome to none other to the great Sam Foster?
Right, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you guys that's represented on the call. I know we got people that are traveling near and far. Also, I want to thank our international dignitaries. I know we got my brother from another mother, Louisa Payon, is on the call. As always, thank you, sir. 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. So I am truly humbled. Thank you, sir. I got my Canada brothers on the call. So I want to say thank you. And all points in between. Um, I also, too, guys, have my declaration for the year of 2025. I'm honed in, I'm zoomed in like Mr. Al Thomas himself. And that's also going to be the title of my message. Once again, happy birthday, Natasha Ismail. Thank you for the teacup infusion for all the years that you've done it. It has not fallen on deaf ears. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started, guys. Once again, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I like to be precise and effective when I do these calls because I have been on a roller coaster in a good way. All right. If you're taking notes, the title of my message and my mantra for 2025 at the same time, I'm giving you a 2-for-1. The title of the message is Somebody's 911. That's right. That's right. That's right. Somebody's 911. What do you mean by that, Sam? I got you. I got you covered like a blanket. Listen, let me tell you something, guys. You're somebody's 911. You got to know that going into 2025. You're somebody's 911. What we do in ACN, we should serve as a beacon of light, as a hope for somebody. And 911 affectionately means a cry for help, saving somebody, a life raft, if you will. You're somebody's 911. If you put that in the back of your mind, you may have to scroll through your Rolodex a month or two from that, but you're somebody's 911. What do you mean by that? I'm tossing, I'm turning, I'm trying to figure out what message should I deliver. I got this going on, got that going on. I'm fried in the head. I don't know which way to turn, but I'm going to deliver this airplane. I'm going to do it a couple of different ways, and then I'm out of here like a light. First of all, I was at an event last night. I was at an event, and this was pretty top shelf. I'm starting to go in these rooms, guys, and I'm starting to realize that I'm in some pretty nice company, if I do say so myself. Had a guy last night. He was walking around the room, and a friend of mine had told me, "Say that guy right there, he he owns a very large oil and gas company here in Texas." So I'm thinking, my ears perk up like a dog when you blowing that dog whistle. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm I'm like, wait a minute. I got a big fish on the hook, so I'm thinking that. Somebody else in the room may be thinking something else, but I'm always thinking peeking, because if I get a big fish like that, I can skin him later. Think about it. That's a lot of tuna on that bone. Danny painted Alberta, Canada. There's a lot of tuna on that bone now. He said a large oil and gas company. So I'm already thinking in my mind, how can I approach this gentleman? Mr. Cush, I'm thinking, how can I approach this gentleman now? Because we talk on these leadership calls on Saturday, what angle to go at. So sometimes I've been known to slip now. So I'm thinking, Mr. Thomas, hold on now. I can't go too fast at this guy. Because if he owns a big company like that, it's a way you have to approach these gentlemen. But he ended up coming to me. And he shocked me when he came up to me because he noticed I wasn't the average person in the room. So he comes up with an envelope and he looked kind of like a mobster. So I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, maybe trying to prospect me to do something illegal. So wait a minute now. But he started talking and he said to me, hey, said something about I haven't noticed you around here and this, that, and the other. So he opens the envelope, guys, and a few hundreds. Let me say it like that. Few hundreds. So he started peeling off some hundreds. So as he's going to give me the money, I'm getting ready to grab it and pinch like 3 of them so he won't pull off anymore because I'm trying to grab as much as he's willing to give to me. Think about it, guys. Use your imagination. I'm like, no, I'm finna grab as much as I can grab because now I'm thinking he might be a little festive. You know, he might have had a few too. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, wait a minute, let me pinch a few off because he might be off track here for a second. But he knew what he was doing, right? So he kept thumbing and he pulled me one out. So I finally pulled it. He said, hey, I hadn't seen you around here. Yeah, I want to tell you happy holiday and happy Thanksgiving. You said, because he was telling me his name and he said, well, I do oil and gas. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, wait a minute. I think I've made it to the right room. Once again, guys, he don't know what I do, but he's telling me what he does. So I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, the power of relationships. Just be kind. Just be humble to people. Let me say it again. Even if you feel like they've done you wrong, be kind. Watch this and be humble. Those two right there is gonna get you through 2025. Yeah, I know they did you wrong. Yeah, I get it. Tasha, yeah, they said this and didn't do it. It was a roller coaster. I get it. Miss Layla, I get it. G Valdez, I get it. I understand it. They said they was gonna call you back. They didn't call you back. They said that they was gonna be on the call. They wasn't on the call. I get it. But be kind and be humble. I guarantee you, you're somebody's 911. I guarantee it. For every 2 or 3 people that did you wrong, it's 100 people screaming, I wish I had a G Valdez. I wish I had a Danny Payne. I wish I still had that T-Lady. It's somebody that could love to be in your organization the way this thing is turning. I politely started going around the room, had a different mind state. I said, if this guy is walking around this room and he's giving away $100 bills, $100 on the ready. I watched him move around the room. I'm like, $100 bill. And then I heard that he tells his wife, he's so loaded. He tells his wife, bring me my tip money. Now, if his tip money is $100 bills, and I'm talking about wrapped in the plastic that says thousands, and he pops them open, because I'm watching it. Now I'm watching everybody hand movement like we're on a poker table. I'm watching hand movements. I'm watching the way they hug each other. I'm watching the way they put money in people's hands. I'm talking about, guys, you'd have thought we was in a mobster movie last night. But that wasn't the case. You were just in a room full of movers and shakers. Now, if you're blessed to be in a room like that, now you got to take on that mover and shaker mentality. In other words, you got to take on the mentality of a giver, of an absolute giver on your level. You don't have to be on his level. Let's be on your level. It might not can't be $100. It might be $5. It may be 10. It may be somebody in line at the grocery store. You can go an extra $5. You see somebody, hey, but just give them $2. Don't matter. Giving is giving. They say it's better to give than receive. Let me get out of that. See, because when you give, it comes back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and Let me get out of that. I'm just saying, I'm gonna keep it low. I'm gonna keep it like I've been having the last couple of weeks. I'm not gonna provide a position. I'm just telling you, it's better to give Thanksgiving than to receive. All I'm saying, I'm learning that, guys. I'm learning that real quick now because what I saw last night changed my trajectory for 2025. Because now you somebody's 911. Now we talked all this month. We talked about how effective ACN is, how we on both sides of the quadrant, how we on the make the money side, the save the money side, how we the wholesale side of the house, how we do business and residential. So we mirror ourselves, guys. At ACN, we mirror ourselves in a good way. We insulate. We insulated. And at the same time, we able to push out to the masses. And that's why we've been able to sustain this credibility for over 30 years. Because we've insulated ourselves, and at the same time, we've been able to push this thing out. And that's why so many people are attracted to this. You sit and you think sometimes, you say, oh, they don't get it. No. They get it. Some people are just scared to death. And sometimes you got to work on those people. But you have a great majority of people, man, when you come in a room, that people just get it. But before you vomit all on them, I've been guilty of that. You want to build relationships. You want to be kind to them and you want to be humble. Now, let me show you something else that happened to me last night. Just a true statement, guys. I took a picture. I was the person that grabbed the phone from this person that was in the room. This when I started realizing the room was so influential and the room was so what's the word I'm trying to use, Mr. Thomas, your platform, so stinking wealthy. I'm just gonna put it out there, so stinking wealthy. I'm taking a picture, I'm in a suit. I'm suited and booted. Listen, I'm taking the picture because the guy was trying to take the picture. He wanted to be in the picture at the same time. It was his family. So I said, I got you. I take the picture, guys. Not only did he slap me a 20, but his friend gave me a 20. How's that for 2 seconds and I made $40? Let me get out. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how the room was, guys. The room was plentiful. The feast of the Lord was going on. I was in the room. Then I started realizing, I said, wait a minute. If I'm blessed to be in the room, I gotta be blessed, watch this, guys, to study the room. You got to be able to study the room. You don't be so quick on nothing. Sit back, analyze the room. Everybody's human. Now, they do recognize when you're trying to run up and lick they behind. So you want to be natural. You want to be natural. You want to smile. You want to be pleasant. When you're that way, they start asking you, what do you do? Really? I do. There you go. Then you could go into your speed. Then you can get that name and that number. Because if you got something so unique as ACN, and you can save all these guys on their bottom line, well, not only do you have connections, but you got relationships. You want to build lasting relationships because people care. And I said this before. They may not care what you do, but they will care how you make them feel. They gonna care how you make them feel now. And they're gonna remember you. So when they see you again, you're gonna be the first person they talk to. If you smile at them, that's pleasant. You know what kind of day they may have. Just because they got money, that don't mean they have a great day. Don't get the two confused now. They only human. So at the end of the day, if you make a person smile, think about it. Two $20 bills and all I did was take a picture. But I smiled. And I said, Happy Thanksgiving. I wasn't saying that to get any money. I didn't know if they was going to give me money. It didn't matter. I was just taking a picture. But they recognize pleasantries. See, and if you can have a pleasant mentality, that's what it's all about. See, it's the relationship building, but it starts with you first. I was listening to, I do a lot of personal development, and I was listening to a guy the pastor guy, and our chest started tapping into him. But he made a statement. And earlier this week, somebody kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And yeah, I got it, Mr. Cush. Imagine that, rubbing me the wrong way. Mr. Backbone Imposter really rubbed me the wrong way, you know? In other words, guys, they took what I said out of context. And it bothered me, man. I mean, it bothered me, Cush. It bothered me. Danny Payne, G. Valdez, it bothered me. It bothered me. Harrison Mills all week. It was Thanksgiving. I was confused. I didn't know how to take it. I said, oh, they rubbing my reputation the wrong way. And I started thinking all these thoughts, guys. Think about it. I'm human, you know? And I said, oh, I may have to explain this to this person, that person. And the guy said it best. Guys, he said, Freddie Sherman in Ohio, if you remember nothing I said all month long, Jabri Clemens, the engineer of this outfit, Dave Culver, the professor, if you don't remember nothing said all month, remember this. A boat does not sink because of what's around them, Rick Kubiak, all the way in Hawaii. It only sinks by what gets in it. Natasha, I'm gonna do this again now. It's a wordplay now, but you gotta watch my mentality, you gotta watch my signal. It does not sink by what's around it. We're talking about water and all these other properties. It only sinks, Jackie Black, by what gets in it. What are you letting infiltrate your mind? What are you letting stop you from going from CQ to SVP? They all started at the same spot. But as time went along, the people that made the difference between CQ and SVP was what they allowed to come in their mind. Not what they saw around them. Mr. Thomas go through the same things we go through. What makes him a high caliber SVP? He come on these calls every day, chipper, rarely cries, and when he crying for somebody else most of the time. I mean, he's a softy. I wouldn't tell him that to his face. He's a shark. But I'm just saying. But he has a heart to go. But that's how that works. He probably got a bunch of people chipping at his heels, talking about him and stuff, but it doesn't matter. He's successful by what he allows to come in him and not by the things around him. He builds leaders based on what's in him, not what's around him. The shark can be biting at your heels, guys, but it does not matter. It's what you think. The Bible said, whatsoever man do shall prosper. It's what you're willing to do to get to the next level. It's what you're thinking about that's going to prosper you. You got to feed the positive and starve the negative. So if I leave anything to you for 2025, my last message, remind yourself, guys, that you are somebody's 911. With that said, Mr. Thomas, I thank you for your time and your platform as always. I am out of here, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.